22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. Shout out to my cousin, Walter Bennett, Mark. This is a project he's working on, the Amani project. When I get more information, I'll definitely share and do a little write-up on it, but he sent me a shirt and I promised I'd wear it. So shout out to my cousin. This is Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show. This is a special election edition. A couple of days ago, I interviewed Greenburgh town clerk, Judith A. Paville, and now, as we do, given equal time, I am interviewing her opponent, Lisa Marie Nero, who some of y'all may remember as a guest co-host on the show until she decided to become a candidate. Then she couldn't guest co-host no more. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. So you are running for Greenburgh town clerk.
That's right.
I want to ask you all the tough questions. That's what we do around here. So
that's right.
For those who don't know your resume or your pedigree, what makes you think you would make what qualifies you to be the next town clerk of Greenburgh?
Town clerk. Experience.
Yeah.
Experience.
Okay. What experience?
The experience that I have is with a very tough workers' comp system. There's no tougher laws in the state other than the workers' comp laws. And when it comes to customer service, that's exactly what the town clerk is supposed to be. It is a information hub. When you're talking about the town clerk's office, you know, you can pull up the job description, as I stated, you know, during the candidates forum. You can look up the job description either in Mr. DiNapoli's description of town clerk. You can look under the section of the powers and duties of town clerk in the law, or you can also just look up town clerk on Google, and it gives you what the town clerk does. So my experience with customer service, it's a service oriented industry, and you have to be in sync with the people, and you have to be in sync with the town board. You have to be in sync with, again, a life of service. I've been a trustee in my church for over 25 years, in two different churches. And have to manage relationships. You have to manage timeliness. You have to manage organization. You have to manage um, staff. You have to manage problems. So that I bring to the table experience.
So yes, there was for those that don't know, there was a candidate forum the other night. I forget what night it was. Earlier this week. Put together by what, the NAACP and the Black Women's Political Okay.
The Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus,
Okay.
Greenburgh White Plains chapter, co-sponsored with the White Plains Greenburgh branch of the NAACP.
So now I gotta ask you, if you are the president of the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus Greenburgh chapter, isn't that a conflict of interest?
Not according to our bylaws, as long as I'm a candidate. Now, keeping it full transparency, it is a violation of bylaws in the NAACP, which is why I'm no longer the assistant secretary of not the White Plains Greenburgh branch, but I had to step down as the assistant secretary of the Jamaica branch that I was an officer for almost 5 years.
Okay. So the Jamaica branch, do you live in Jamaica?
My offices, the bylaws of the NAACP. Mm-hmm. Now, it was always saying, it was always thought of that it could either be near your home, your work, or your church. No, it has to be a branch near your home or your work. And all my offices were Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Jamaica, mm-hmm. and my church was near Westbury because I was going to join the Westbury branch.
Okay. Now, and I asked that because you're running for, like, a lot. I've heard people say, I didn't even know she lived in Greenburgh. Where did she come from? Like, then when you say I'm in the Jamaica branch, that just like, like
it throws you off, right?
Yeah.
And the former White Plains Greenburgh NAACP president for years, Lena Anderson.
Yes, shout out to Lena.
And full transparency, because I'm an open book. Her last act as president of the branch, she publicly apologized to me, and said, I'm sorry. I ran off one of the best secretaries this branch ever had. And that's public. She made it a public apology. So, and that's when I took my time, my talents, and I went to Jamaica branch, which was near one of my, one of my office locations, and was appointed and then elected, and then did my thing with the fundraising.
So you pulled the LeBron. You pulled the LeBron. I'm taking my talents to Jamaica. Yeah.
Sure did. You can ask Professor Leroy Gadsden. Absolutely, that's exactly, and I did. Once I was appointed, I think I brought in almost like $15,000, so single-handedly for their first dinner.
Aha. Well, real off the topic, shout out to Lena Anderson. She is the reason and the inspiration that I am the vice president of the Mount Vernon NAACP.
Absolutely.
Because Damon was a longtime member when we were first starting Black Westchester, and she made me like an unofficial member. I'd never really joined, but when I saw a list of members, my name was there. So, and I was always at all the meetings. So, but just watching her get down and. Yes. And I was always very critical of the NAACP, especially the Mount Vernon branch, for being what I considered non-existent, So I decided my choice of words was I decided to invade it and not join. And then there was a
Well,
turnover.
change is from within.
So and then because of my big mouth and talking, it led me to eventually being the vice president, which is something I didn't ask for or want to do, but now I am the vice president.
But that leads me. It's a good segue into that's exactly how you have to. That's how I'm treating the town clerk's office. You can only make a change from within. So, like I said, in a response, to a outcry from from during a public, I don't know, people like to bring up my name in town board meetings. I was just like, say all you want, just vote for me. So,
but there was another thing. They was like, I've never even seen her at a meeting. I've been going to meetings for years. Where did she come from? She don't even go to. She's not someone who ever even went to meetings. I've heard that too.
Right.
How about you?
So I've heard it too, because that's when I made the when I said things like, oh, she don't go to meetings. Really? So when I was going to the executive session, when I first even decided to run, and I was just like, okay, so tell me what you're talking about at the meetings that question affect me and my home ownership in the town of Greenburgh. How can I make this better? Because if anyone will tell you, sitting at those meetings is tough unless there's someone presenting, and again, you can only make change from within.
Mm-hmm.
So
not to get you in trouble with the, I'm gonna ask, not to get you in trouble with the current town supervisor. The other thing, and these are things that have been told to me, and I'm addressing them. They were like, "Yo, why run for town clerk? We got a sister there already. Why not Tasha Young queued it up when her last run against Paul Feiner for him to be challenged? Why not just run for town supervisor? And why run for town clerk? So why run for town clerk?
I didn't always want to be supervisor. When Honorable Alfreda Williams had the position, thought it was a cool position, and a lot of people, just like the NAACP, here go, the secretary is the one that runs the branch, not the president. And the town clerk is a very powerful position when processed properly, and when I'm a researcher by trade, and if I can provide information, and that's the thing, the town clerk does not have a vote. Here it goes. Doesn't say that she doesn't have a voice, but you don't have a vote. And as the town clerk, you can provide the information that helps mold, educate, and provides the information that the town council needs to make their decisions, to make the resolutions, to make their laws that they do throughout the year. And again, I said it in my email, don't call this a comeback. I've been here for years. 51. Mm-hmm. 51. So, it's so funny when you're saying, is she not at the meetings? If you've ever sat at one of the meetings and just saw the chaos, and that's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I've watched meetings because there was issues with Cliff's mural and his something with Community Without Walls or something without walls, and there was some other issues, and I would get phone calls and people would be like, hey, watch the meeting, they're going to be addressing this and pay attention to this. So I've only been to one, and that was recently because I had to speak at the library for the 1619 project, and they were having a board meeting afterwards, and I just decided to sit in on the board meeting just because, since I was already in town, and listen to what the issues were just to kind of be up on the issues, because they had some public speaking about a flood area, one of the area, and it was a really big thing, and it seems like they've been redlined over there, the same way we had redlining for us. And I found that, and I'm glad I went, because I want to follow up on that and see how that's progressing and what's being done about it. But anyway, so I've only been to one live, but I've seen the video. Even when I didn't watch it live, the video has often been sent to me. Oh, you got to watch this. So yeah, there was definitely some
and that's
drama in the It was like reality. It was like reality TV. I was like, oh my, okay,
exactly. And I don't do reality TV. I don't do any of the housewives shows. Sorry, don't do that.
Right. So let me ask you. So, and again, this is without. I don't ever ask a candidate to trash their opponent. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about what you're going to do. But the question I'm going to ask, and I have to preface that with this next question. The question in the candidate forum you just had recently, she was asked, why is Sabomi calling me? Yeah.
To let you on the show. I don't know why my vice president wants to speak with you right now.
I'm sorry to put her on a blast like that, but
no, that's okay. Tell my president I love her, and just tell her to tune in on YouTube, or tune in on YouTube, or she wants to be in the show. I love her.
Okay. So anyway, okay. So enough of that. So sorry y'all for that. So I prefaced that to ask this question. In the candidate forum, they asked the incumbent about what has she done and as town clerk. I can't ask you that question because you haven't done it. So I'll have to ask, and again, I'm saying about what you would do as opposed to, trashing her. What do you feel you would bring to the office that to elevate the office and that wasn't being done that you're planning to do? I guess.
As the town clerk, it is your job to keep records, accurate, timely records. That's the most thing. You're the information hub. You're the record holder. You're the record keeper. You're the official record keeper for the town. And when you're supposed to officially keep records, so I again have the honor and the privilege of being under the tutelage of Honorable Alfreda Williams, who was the first Black woman in that position. And when you are the record keeper, you are supposed to keep records. So the state has a state mandate of how long you're supposed to keep particular records. In medical, there's some records that you only have to keep for 7 years, but in Department of Transportation, you must keep those records for it's either 17 or 19 years. But you still have to keep these records, and state mandates it. So one of the things I will make sure that there will not be records destroyed prematurely, and that they are filed timely. And that
I said I didn't want you to trash your opponent. When you make a statement like that, are you saying that records weren't being kept?
That is correct, and all of that information and documentation can be found on my website, Nero 4 townclerk.com.
So and I know this from being from Black Westchester. It is easy to judge people or see things from the outside until you are actually inside. And something, do you know that when you say that, for sure there is documented evidence that there were records that weren't being kept, so, because we like to get past the politics. Politics is too polarized and divisive, and accusations get thrown around like frisbees. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like,
right. Yeah, no, the documentation is attached to my website, and anyone can go to it, www.nero, Nero, 4 townclerk.com, and it has documentation to the records that were destroyed.
So they weren't being kept. You're saying they were destroyed.
Correct, prematurely. And when you're talking about keeping records, records are obviously kept for reasons such as avoiding lawsuits. And if they're destroyed, what evidence do you have to avoid a lawsuit if they're destroyed? So that's why the state mandates for you to have particular records for a certain amount of time. Like I said, medical 7, and it varies. If these are all state mandates, and that's what you're saying, what are you doing at the job? I will make sure that the state mandated records are maintained properly and not destroyed prematurely.
Okay. I'm getting text messages.
Yeah.
So okay. That threw me off a little bit. No, because and if I wish I had heard that earlier, because then I could have asked her and at least given her a chance to address it. I wasn't aware of that. So, or even the accusation of that. So, I like to give people a chance to respond. Who is Lisa Marie Nero, the person?
The person, I am an advocate, I am a hard worker, I am a mom, I'm just a person who has basically committed my life to service. I'm a trustee. I'm a current president. I am a parliamentarian. Oh, there's my friend Michelle.
Wait. I had you do this before because I honestly didn't know the heck is a parliamentarian. Like the average person just don't know. Like we have to break things down for people. Like I like to not let things just roll off. Like the average person does not know what the heck a parliamentarian. I don't think everybody can even read it off the paper and pronounce it right, maybe. But
no,
definitely know. Yeah, everybody doesn't know what that. I say that not to be funny and talk about our people.
Yes.
When the first time you said it, I said, "What the hell is a parliamentarian?"
Yeah, you sure did. That was so funny. No, a parliamentarian is the keeper of the rules. So, now technically, a parliamentarian is, and I want to say in government, and I have to know which house it is. So I have to recall which house it is, either it's the House of Representatives or the Senate. But the parliamentarian they're the keeper of the rules. They're the ones who keep the house rules together. So as the former parliamentarian for Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus, I also stepped down from that position because I ran. So, but it's a keeper of the rules. If you want a technical, description of it, there is an association of parliamentarians, and the parliamentarian. It's like anytime there is any out of order discussion, you go to the rule book. Same thing with you go to the bylaws, and I have mastered the bylaws for the caucus, so that's why I was appointed to that position. It's an appointment. It's not an elected position, and and the same thing with the bylaws. The bylaws for the NAACP, I was so aligned with the bylaws, it was kind of easy to align it with the bylaws of the caucus. So again, not an expert, just very well versed with the rules and regulations of not only NAACP but also the caucus.
So, as a town clerk candidate, are you in line and well versed on, I guess, the town of Greenburgh's bylaws? Or it's not bylaws. It's town. What is it? It's called
There's town ordinances.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And what the challenge was the other night was, and I want to address that. That's one of the things.
Well, we about to go there, and we're gonna get definitely, because that was the next question. Can you speak to what started the other evening about resolutions becoming law in the town of Greenburgh? So I was waiting for that, but I don't want. We got 30-something minutes, and I don't want to spend 30-something minutes on just that. But
no, we won't. Now, so I was accused of not knowing what I was talking about, and the reason why I want to clarify is because each
Well,
town.
for those who didn't see it, what was the question that led up to it? What was it that you were talking about, the topic, so everybody knows what the topic was?
Sure. Timeliness with filing and town laws and resolutions. So that's what happened. So town laws and resolutions. Now, I am used to the NAACP presenting the resolutions, to our legislative director, who I had the privilege of doing the reparations forum at the Greenburgh Public Library on HR 40, which I am working on my dissertation towards my doctorate. And we are used to presenting those resolutions to the legislative director, and the legislative director then brings it to legislators up in Albany on behalf of the NAACP. And that is why I said, and I did my research further, because again, I thought that the town laws were separate in Greenburgh from the resolutions. They are separate. However, resolutions from the town of Greenburgh do not need to go to the Secretary of State, but that is only specific to Greenburgh. It varies from towns to villages in New York State. So that's why I was accused of not knowing what I was talking about, because it is different in Greenburgh, but I would not know until I researched that it was different from what is written in the law of the duties of the powers and the duties of the town clerk. So resolution, such as the Black Lives Matter resolution that was brought before the board, Greenburgh Town Board. Now, that was passed by the town council. That does not have to go up to the Secretary of State, but that is exclusive to Greenburgh. Other towns and villages send their resolutions up to the state. It's just specific in town of Greenburgh that they do not. Laws must be presented 20 days within 20 days of the town council passing it, must be sent to the legislator for legislation. Secretary of State must receive that from the town clerk, solely from the town clerk's office, in order for it to be adopted and then passed into law.
So, for us lay people, what is the difference between a resolution and a law?
Okay. So, as I said, I will use the Black Lives Matter resolution.
That was a question. Did that?
As I gave in my written response to the NAACP, so that because I wanted to make sure that I clarified. So, the Black Lives Matter resolution is, let me see, examples adopted. Okay, so NAACP, what did I tell you? They bring resolutions, and then they brought it to the town board for them to adopt. And so a resolution which was discussed by the branch, the town, they amended and strengthened the mutual consent of the verbiage for the resolution. So the Black Lives Matter resolution, which appears on the NAACP website, is signed by all of the town council members, which is not normal, but it's signed and again adopted and accepted. Town law is an actual law. Now, my chapter's political action director, Tasha D. Young, brought up a very, very good point about what laws are passed by the town. So that's something I have to research, and I don't have that information now. And I only have the Black Lives Matter resolution to present, but there's over 600 resolutions presented during the course of a year to the Greenburgh town council.
So for me, so what does it mean the resolution was adopted? So the Black
It's not
Lives
a law.
Matter.
It's not a law. It has to go
Right. But what does it mean that the Black Lives Matter resolution was adopted? What does that mean? It was adopted. Will it be enacted? What I don't remember. I don't know what was in the resolution. So being adopted means what? Like you just adopted it, but we just go on as normal? Like is there a change in the way things get done because it's adopted? What does that mean, adopted?
So with the Black Lives, now I'm full transparency. I know there was a question of verbiage with the Black Lives Matter, with the signage, where it was going to be placed. You know, I know there was some questions at the time. So with that it's like it's not a law, but it's a resolution for policy change. But it's not a law. Right. So I know that there was specific verbiage that needed to be changed. They strengthened it, and so there was a support of Black Lives Matter resolution that was again adopted and carried out by the town council.
So like there's also a anti-Semitic resolution. Like what I want to know, like I think, and I don't understand. I don't understand. And you can feel like several libraries of stuff with that I don't understand. So and I learn from every interview I do. So so they passed the Black laws. They adopted a Black Lives Matter resolution. They adopted an anti-Semitic resolution. What does that mean? Because it's not law. So, like, it's not like if you did something, it can't be like you violated a law or something. So, like, how's that change the quality of life in the town of Greenburgh? What is that? What does it do? Is it just a piece of paper, or what? What is it? That's what I'm not understanding. What does it mean?
No. And it's an excellent question, but guess what? Only reason why it's out of my scope, and again, I'm not going to sit up here and act like. And that's one thing. If I don't know something, I'm going to find out, and then I'll let you know after I find out. But if I don't know something, so a resolution, and I would have to really pose that question to my slate mates. As far as town council, what happens to a resolution? Right. I just know the process of what happens to resolutions, but what the outcome of resolutions, I don't know, other than through the NAACP.
I'm gonna further that question too, because I want to know from the council now, and the supervisor, because I just, it sounds like symbolism without substance. Like if it can't do nothing, then it's not like you violated no law. Like just because like I have a sign behind me that says Black Lives Matter, but if I didn't have a body of work to prove that I felt that sign is just a sign. Like that don't mean that I care about Black lives. It's just a sign. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like this piece of paper just it's just a piece of paper. So, but we're gonna move on for that. Hold on. The only area where I feel it led to somewhere was that the NAACP was okay. Hold on, Rob Wingate. The only area where I feel that it led somewhere was that maybe the NAACP was included in some interviews with the police chief candidate that led to hiring Kobe Powell. Okay. All right. Michelle responded, it is symbolism. Because I'm like, some things are just symbolism without substance, and we do that, and it just seems like I'm not, these resolutions, and the word comes up. These resolutions come up more in Greenburgh than any of the other municipalities I deal with. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Approximately 600 per year.
600 resolutions a year.
Approximately, yes. I can only tell you about the process. That's all I can tell you about the process right now. And I'm telling you what the process is. And that's exactly what the town clerk is supposed to do. Tell you about the process.
Okay. So we're gonna move on, and you covered this a little bit, and it was asked. I don't know if it was asked both of y'all, but it was asked at the forum, at the candidate forum. So, and I asked all candidates that are looking to running for a job to see if they know what the job description of the job they're running for. So, what is the job description of the town clerk?
Sure. And as a matter of fact, somebody did a beautiful job, and I think it was my girl Lane Cobb who put it in the chat for us. When you look at, there's a very, very short version that is given by DiNapoli, but the town code is section 30. Powers of the duty of the clerk. Town clerk of each town shall have the custody of all the records, books, and papers of the town. He, which is very sexist, shall attend all meetings of the town board, act as clerk thereof, keep a complete and accurate record of the proceedings of each meeting, of all propositions adopted pursuant to this chapter. Immediately after adoption, he shall enter into a book be known as the ordinance book, a copy of every ordinance adopted by the town board, specify the date of the adoption. In addition, shall act as the secretary of the board of commissioners of any improvement district where so designated by any board commissioner, shall keep a complete and accurate record of his office as town clerk of all proceedings of every board, of every commissioner of improvement districts in said town. Town clerk shall keep records of all deeds of conveyances in the office, and that's of the clerk of the county in which the property is located, therefore filing the same of the town clerk's office and the costs and necessary expenses incurred with the recording of such deeds. Shall enter into 1A, a suitable book of records of monies received. Shall deposit all monies no later than the third business day.
So let me stop. So I want to play professor in a class. I ain't asked you what the book said. I asked you what you. Yeah, I want you to read it to me. I want you to tell me like what basically
Yes,
so I'm playing professor right now.
The town clerk, no problem. The town clerk is responsible for more than records. It's more than responsible for licenses. It's more than responsible for the permits. We are responsible for freedom of information law requests. We are responsible for record keeping, the minutes and the going on of the town board meetings. You're supposed to be there to, and again, remember it varies with each locality.
Well, so I just want your understanding of town clerk, Greenburgh town clerk. I don't care about the other.
Copy that. Information hub for the town. Information hub. You have to be a resource, and that's the main thing. You have to, as a town clerk, you have to be a resource of information. And as I said, if I don't know it, I'll find it and I'll figure it out and I'll make sure that I get an answer to it. And that's what being a town clerk is.
So in the candidate forum, you mentioned about being a notary. Is that a requirement of the town clerk, or
not at all?
Why do you feel being a notary would help you as a town clerk, being a town clerk?
Sure. Without, it's very, very difficult trying to find notaries these days. You can't even find them in the banks anymore. You used to be able to find them in not mortgage companies, but in realty offices. You can't even find them anymore. So bringing this free service to the town clerk's office is mimicking what is required of the county clerk's office, because the county clerk office is required to provide free notary services. Has to, but it's not a requirement of the town clerk. I'm just taking another step further in offering services, free services to the residents, so they're not running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to find a notary when all they have to do is just come to town hall.
So I'm trying to pull something up real quick.
Sure.
I wanna refer to it, and I'm hoping this is the article. I was trying to find it in the interview with your opponent. there's been a lot of talk about foils in this race, and I was looking for um, Low HUD performed. They foiled stuff with every municipality in Westchester, and most municipalities had a very slow turnaround. I know for sure Mount Vernon is somewhere at the top of the list. I don't remember where Greenburgh was in relationship, and I was trying to find. I wanted to actually pull that up so I could actually know. It said Greenburgh was number this, but I can't find it. Um,
Oh wow.
I don't. I got to find an article to find out where Greenburgh was. I wanted to find out. Um, I think Greenburgh was kind of high in the slow response area too. But
Well, if
I,
you go to
I,
my website, you have the documentation that states that there was a $36,000 judgment, 37,000, excuse me, $37,000 judgment against the town because there was um, a FOIL request that was not responded to timely.
yeah, I heard that came up. Um, I don't have the article, so I'm gonna move on. But Low HUD, I'm sure it's Googleable. Um, and
Or
if
just
anybody has that article, please send me a link real quick so I can talk about that. But yes, the next topic I want to talk about is foils and them being done in a timely manner, and the what's being said about foils not being done and all that. So your take on that, and how would you change that?
how that taking responsibility and accountability. Um, it's and I have the experience to do that because
Well,
in
just before I just yes, Gannett and Low HUD is suing Greenburgh for not releasing officer disciplinary records via FOIL. I was told that the officers' records and the other records for the other departments are in two different categories. So that came up in the interview with Judith as well. But I believe that that's a different category. Like there's the police department, and then there's all the other departments. If I'm and I hope I'm speaking correctly, but that's my understanding. That falls in a different category, but it still goes through you, and you have to get the information from the police, and the police got to release it. So how does a FOIL work? Yes, okay. I'm sorry, I just started that, and I just said some of it. How does a FOIL work? I needed to FOIL some information. Freedom of Information Law. That's what FOIL is. Um, it's an act that was enacted by Congress that residents can, for public records, I believe, I can FOIL. So I want to know something that we're talking about here. I want to see. I want some information on it. I go to the town clerk. I put in the official FOIL, and what's supposed to happen once I put that FOIL in.
okay, so once you put a FOIL in, you have your request, you have all the information as specific as possible. Then I have to research exactly how many days because I don't want to speak off the cuff. I don't have that, but I believe it is 5 days to respond. And then if you cannot provide this information within 5 days, you then have to provide um, something for the town clerk to an extension. They're like, well, I'm responding to let you know that we need more time. So there's an extension granted. Then the person who is requesting the FOIL can then appeal a decision if they come back and say, oh, there's no record of this, information. Then there's an appeal process. Um, and again, I'm just talking off the cuff, just from what I've tried, trying to get a FOIL myself, during this race, and um, it's just very difficult. As a matter of fact, I think I'm still waiting for an answer from a FOIL that was due July something. But I let my attorney handle that because that's what that is.
Okay, because I wanted to understand this whole thing because people don't know they have the right to foil. They don't understand what the FOIL Act is. It is an act, um, and we try to educate people on the show as much as possible. And I hope that helps people understand it a little better. Maybe I might just do a show on
I would.
the FOIL process. I think I'm gonna reach out. I want to reach out and find that article and capitalize on what Loha did. Um, I know Mount Vernon has been it's been hard to get foils. The only foil that I got right away was when Richard Thomas was a city councilman and he was running to become mayor. And I asked for his exact voting record the whole time he was city council on a Friday. And they called me Monday and it was ready. They must have worked on that all weekend because they wanted to give me that information. Like foils have never come through like that before. But there's foils that I have never got responded to sometimes. In some Mount Vernon and other municipalities, I literally have not got responses for foils from 2 years ago. And I probably forgot to follow up at some point. And I never got a response. AJ Plea asks how she ensures departments. So the foil comes to you, and I think you might have said this, and I was looking up the article. The foil comes to you, and whatever department it is, you contact the department, and the department has to then give you the information, with the clerk, the information, and then the clerk sends it out. So Michelle was asking, how do you ensure that departments give the information for the foil on time? I don't know if that's something you can answer, but
well, I can only use my experience with workers' comp because again, there's such strict deadlines. So I work for one of the largest Black-owned workers' comp medical facilities. I'm only one executive who has to depend on almost 50 staff to get information. Sometimes I have to try to get the information myself because again, we're dealing with deadlines. We're dealing with people's lives. We're dealing with people's money. That's the main thing. We're dealing with people's money. Yeah. So for me to say, oh, I'm sorry, we just don't have it, that's unacceptable. And that's exactly why the Freedom of Information law is in effect, because you just can't say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't get that information without at least doing your due diligence. So if there's just no information on it, that's different. That's different. So I'm sorry, and then that's where the appeal comes in. Are you sure there's no information? Fine. But if you're talking about a department head, not having time in their busy schedule to answer a request, again, it's follow-up. You have not because you asked not. And if it's your job to get this information to a person that's asking, and if you don't get this information, it's against the law, and I'm a parliamentarian and I'm all about rules and regulations, something's got to give. So my intention when I'm elected, hopefully, prayerfully, on Tuesday, November 7th, it is to work cohesively with the departments so that there is no resistance and that the person who's requesting the FOIL can get the information that they need.
And I'm gonna I want to one last questions on that and then move on because we have like 10 minutes left or so. So is in the charter, that's the word I was looking for, not bylaws, charter. In the charter, I'm assuming that's y'all have a charter, we have a charter. In the charter, is there anything like, okay, I'm the head of whatever department and I just don't do it. I just don't give you the information. Is there any
consequences?
Yes, for me not doing that. For me just not, like, you know what I'm saying? Is there, or it, I mean, are you held accountable for not doing it?
Yes, that's how the judge invoked a fine to the town.
Okay.
Because it was not done. So it wasn't so, but granted, the information wasn't provided, but a response wasn't either.
Okay.
So, so if
So
it,
what
if
would
it,
you do differently in that case? That's and then that's the last question.
because I'm a researcher, I research what I could, because if I'm the information hub, the research, the information should be at my fingertips, and if not, then I have to work on getting it, make sure that it is easily accessible. So that's what I want to make sure, that information is easily accessible, when I become the town clerk.
Anything that I didn't ask you that you want people to know about you as a candidate, about if you win the future town clerk, anything that you want that I didn't ask you that you want to get out?
Just the fact that you actually talked about, the notary services, the fact that, it's going to be a friendly, inviting information hub, and that when you're talking about the town clerk's office, again, friendly, accessible information hub where you can get free notary services, and that your records will be filed timely, laws will be filed timely, resolutions will be processed properly, and, again, I'm a person whose personal record, um, has stood the test of time. 17 years professionally, over 25 years in the service industry of volunteerism, and,
So you do know, and I like to remind people when they're on this show, especially those who I'm cool with. You do know when you come on my show, like every candidate tells me that they're going to be transparent, that they're going to do this and do that, and they get in office and don't do those things. So you know, if you put it on this show that you're going to do that and you don't do it, and I hear about it, I'm going to come down on you. I'm just going to be like, yo, you said, and I'm going to edit the video where you said that and share it with everybody, just so you know. Like, so you
AJ,
that though, right?
and you know what? I'm gonna take a personal liberty. Just from one interview. What did you do? You asked me to be a co-host. One interview. I wasn't
but that wasn't running. That's different than running, being an elected official. That was just because of relationships and how you came, being a co-host on the show and being. I don't know. I'm the host of the show. I don't know if I'd be a good elected official in some of the positions. To be honest, I actually wouldn't make a good council person, because I couldn't sit up there and let y'all talk about me. Like I see in Mount Vernon, where I seen in Greenburgh too, where you
wait. No, I got it. I got in trouble, AJ. I got in trouble because I responded. I got in trouble twice.
Because I'll be like, yo, you're not just gonna call me everything out of my name, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna be, at some point, I'm gonna be like, F you, and I'm gonna lose my job. Like I'm like, so,
I was actually gracious to Sister Brown after she sat up there and told me to my face, you don't know what you're talking about. So it's all good though.
So last question, and we asked this of your opponent. What about the $2 million lawsuit you said was caused by the town clerk, when you are aware that the laws that get processed in Greenburgh are done by Francis Sheehan, and he did not file it on time, not the town clerk. She is responsible for it, but the town board took that part of the job from her, and that resolution. Why do you keep saying the town clerk did this? Okay. Did you get all that? I'm sorry.
Yep. No. Crystal clear. Okay. So.
Okay. Well, before you do that, Rob Wintergate wants to know, what is the lawsuit about? What is that suit about?
Lawsuit. Okay. So again, I'm not doing anything off the cuff. You can go right to my website, www.Nero4.
But I need you to give us the clip notes right now. The clip notes. I need you to, whatever you call it. I need you to give us
Okay, so
I don't like to do a lot of unnecessary reading about stuff. Like I
read
all day long. I just want to know.
Okay, so The landing of Dobbs Ferry,
The
which
what?
resulted,
The landing of what?
right. So the landing, which resulted in $2.1 million settlement, and will cost the Greenburgh taxpayers, in Greenburgh taxpayers, specifically Dobbs Ferry, an additional. I'm sorry, Greenburgh. It cost them 2.1 million, and then now it's going to cost Greenburgh's taxpayers $1.2 million annual, because the town clerk failed to sign, seal, and timely file a local law. So we're going
To
to
the
go
state.
back to the
File it
state.
at the state.
That's right. Now we're talking about a law.
Now, when did this happen about? What year?
What year? 20, I want to say 2018. It's on my website. It's specific because I don't want to.
Okay. Well, moving forward. So, and again, I want to keep it moving. So your opponent said this, and Michelle Brown actually saying it too. Why do you keep saying that the town clerk did it when allegedly, because I wasn't there, I don't know, the town board, Francis Sheehan, the town board member, did not file this on time, and he took that responsibility from the clerk's office to the board, and he took that away from her. Why do you keep saying it was the town board that the town clerk that did not file it?
It's the town clerk's responsibility to just 20 days to send up the law. Now, if you're saying that they took the
that responsibility from her.
Yeah, how can you take that responsibility if it's your responsibility? And here it is in the section of the town law that states that it's the town clerk's responsibility. It's the town clerk's responsibility to sign it, format it, and send it up to the state. That's your job. Once they say they approve, this is what they all voted on it. It's now the town clerk's responsibility.
But what was being said is that the board passed a resolution to the town board to take that responsibility away from her, that the town board would do it.
You legally cannot. You legally can't. You legally cannot. Now, if again, if it wasn't being done, I don't know. Did you want more lawsuits? I don't know. But legally, it's her responsibility. It's in every, like you said, job description that it's the town clerk's responsibility. I'll take on the accountability. That's all I can do. Again, I'm used to deadlines. I'm used to very strict deadlines. I'm used to contract deadlines when it comes to very strict rules. With all the unions that I've dealt with for over 17 years, I have to know everybody's contract to know what everybody is required when they're injured on the job. There's some people who have some rights, some people have other benefits. I have to know everybody's contract to make sure that they follow these instructions to get their payments when they're injured. I have to follow this instruction for this particular union. I got to make sure that this paperwork, I have everything. And this took time to get there. And again, it was just a series of unfortunate circumstances that got us to this point where why I'm running for Greenburgh Town.
So listeners are talking about screaming matches between town board council member Francis Sheehan and the current clerk, and all the lawsuits that are against the town. And I want to say this because I want to say this all the time.
But why is the clerk speaking?
Okay, but I want to say this. So I see this in Mount Vernon and other municipalities when there's this stuff going on in the board and during the board meetings, during the council meetings. They all say that them being in place is going to change all that. How is that going to change with you in place?
Why is the clerk speaking?
Well, the clerk is asked questions at certain times, right? The clerk. I mean, because the clerk. Well, okay. So with Mount Vernon, if the council members do something, and like they don't do it in the order, the clerk says no, that's not the order. You're supposed to do it in this, and this order.
City clerk
Uh-huh.
is different from town clerk.
Oh, okay.
And again, I'm just
so
saying.
You're saying the town clerk is supposed to be seen and not heard? Is that what you're saying? I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
Wait, no. It's okay, AJ, because I'll get you tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I'll get you tomorrow. So anyway, Mr. Vice President. So, it's not that you're not supposed to be seen and not heard, but do your job. And the job is to make sure that everything is accurate with the minutes, with the agendas, with the commissioners, with the boards.
But I've been to meetings where the board. I've seen meetings where the clerk has been asked a question and she's answering the question, so she's supposed to speak. Then I mean, she's supposed to. So she's
right. Okay. But shouting matches. Listen.
Okay, so I know you. So okay, I know you personally. I'm giving you a scenario. Not making it a black and white thing. This person is screaming on you, and you're just going to sit there calmly and not respond back. This person is being disrespectful to you, and you're not going to defend yourself in any way. I know that is not even in your DNA. I'm just saying, like I mean, all these other people might not know, but I know that's not in your DNA. And I know, and the current clerk, I know that's not in her DNA either.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So.
And guess what? If that's her doing the clerky way. That's fine. That's her. That's how she runs her office. That's not how I run mine. And it's a matter of fact, it's interesting, because, like you said, you know me personally, because you either really, really love me or you really, really don't. And my thing is, again, know your audience. If you're talking about, like I said, I've had 3 incidences. Nope. Hold on, AJ. I've had 3 incidences. So an assertive clerk is good. Okay. Mr. Wingate, let me get right to you when you say assertive, because assertive is no problem. I am known to be a very firm person, and again, some people are like, if you don't know Lisa, you know, she could be very, you know, standoffish, but not really, because I'm being firm. I'm a very matter of fact person. So the fact is that you're standing your ground, but what are you standing your ground on? You're a non-voting member of the town board. You're supposed to provide information for the town board to make decisions. Screaming matches, sorry. Even when I was talked about at the town board, it was not like AJ said I would be responding. I didn't. I was very calm I was very matter of fact.
You are now, but in some of the meetings that I have seen, where particular, and I'm not even gonna put it all on Sheen because it hasn't been just him. Like I'm sure he's been one of the main ones everybody is saying in here, but you know, where a council member might speak in a certain tone with or about the clerk, and she's sitting there. She's a strong black woman, like you're a strong black woman, and she responds in the way she responds. You might respond differently, but she's going to stand her ground. And especially if she's the one, if what she's talking about,
if you're receiving,
she's in the right, and she's in the right, she's going to stand her ground. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I've seen some dysfunction across the board, and not just Greenburgh, and a lot of boards and councils across the Westchester, but specifically, I've seen that, and I can't say that I blame her for, and I'm just saying in that situation, I can't see you just being passive and just allowing it to take place, and you're not going to speak up either. That's what I'm saying is when we say that, I know that you're not going to sit there and just take that if that's in the same thing. Like you said, why is she speaking? And why
I'm gonna finish off with the famous Chris Rock statement. What am I? Cause I have parents. Or had parents. Both my parents are gone. And what's the rule of thumb? Don't fight.
But that's different. Nope, that's different. That's me and you fighting in front of white people. That's not a white person yelling at you.
Right.
That is a big difference.
No. I got you. But
again, this is not about a black or white situation. The council member happens to be a white man, and the town clerk happens to be a black woman. Like point blank, I'm gonna put myself in there as a black man, as a man. Period. You just ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. I don't care what my position is. You could be my superior. You just ain't gonna talk, and that's why I am not an elected official.
Copy that.
Because I want to be able to like, yo, you're gonna respect me. You're not gonna talk to me with disrespect, and you could be paying my salary, and I could lose my job, but you're not going to be disrespecting me on a regular basis.
And that is uncalled for. That's unwarranted.
Right.
Granted. But again, why are you talking?
Right. So we're not going to get into what everybody's ideologies and stuff. I just wanted to use that. Anything I didn't ask you that you want people to know? How early voting has already started. A lot of times people wait till the last minute.
I voted today.
I'm supposed to vote tomorrow. Oh,
yes, please.
I was supposed to go today to do something. Anyway, so for those who haven't made up their mind in this race and they want to look at the candidates, and how do they find you online, social media, website, et cetera, et cetera? So,
of course, mostly everything is on Nero 4 townclerk.com. I'm on Twitter under Lisa Maria Nero. I'm on TikTok under, I think, Lisa Maria Nero as well. And of course, Facebook, Lisa Maria Nero. Everything's my full name, my full government name.
Okay. I still say, and this is a personal note, I still say you would not sit there and let that happen because you thought I did you wrong and you about almost cursed me out. So I'm just saying, and I was right. So anyway, but we
you won't. No.
That's one of those right now. We don't air that out for the white people. Like we won't talk about that on the show.
Exactly.
But, I'm just saying, but you might have a different way of responding, but you're gonna respond. I just know you in the same situation. So you said, why was she talking? I don't see you being quiet in those situations either. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm just being honest. I don't see you.
But guess what? I don't also foresee myself putting myself in that position.
I mean, from what I'm reading about comments in here, that doesn't necessarily mean that she put herself. It means this person is whatever to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't not put yourself. The person is that way, and they're going to be that way. And in that same situation, they're going to be that way to you too. If that's their pedigree, I'm just saying.
Right.
And Michelle said he will provoke you. So she just wrote that.
Thanks for the heads up, sis. I hear you. Thank you.
So
I got you. I just know that you're. I think the residents of Greenburgh deserve a positive change, and I know I can present that change, and I'm really just. It's my desire not to cost the residents of Greenburgh any more money. That's all. Stop the bleeding.
Because I did know you, and there's a lot of laughing and joking and stuff, but
Of course.
I want everybody
and that's how I am.
right.
Anyone knows me. This is my personality.
So I want this is a serious situation. Voting,
Absolutely.
all over this county. For those who say my vote doesn't count, all over this county, races are being won by. We've had races won. Okay, in the last mayoral race, and
Yes.
I think in the primary between Andre Wallace and Sean Patterson Howe, it came down to 3 votes.
No, it wasn't that slim, was it?
At one point, in one of the count, it came to 3. Then they did a recount, and then they did a recount, and they had to go back and do another recount. Like, it was just crazy. So it came down either this election or the last election. I'm just telling you, it came down to. Right. It came down, and then we've had other races that have come down to 10 votes. In New Rochelle, one of the candidates told me he's running on the Working Family Party. He was on Sunday. He lost the primary by 22 votes. So just like I say this, like this is a real thing. I remember in Mount Vernon, Maureen Walker ran for mayor, and she was up. And then she woke up the next day, was down 101 votes. Like she went to sleep up. Yeah. So like I say all of these things and I say them in jest, but every vote literally does count. And when you're talking about a small town, especially, like we vote in those presidential races, what we don't understand. And I'm just saying this period because we get closer to election day, and I didn't get to say this earlier. Your town or city races have more to do with your day-to-day life than any presidential race, than any congressional race, than any state senate race. Like in a city, okay, it's maybe different in the town. In a city, Yonkers, Mount Vernon, cities like that, the mayor appoints a police commissioner, the mayor appoints a DPW. So if you don't like the way your city is being policed, your mayor hired the police. The police commissioner works at the pleasure of if you don't like the way your city is being cleaned, the DPW commissioner works at the pleasure of the mayor. So you have to understand those things. So if you got potholes in your city and you got all of these things going on, who wins the presidential race don't have nothing to do with that.
Local government, my friend.
Who's in states? Who your state senate and state and congressmen sometimes don't have nothing to do with that. It's this role, this local. So I need that. I haven't done this in a couple of years. It's important that we get out, and not just in Greenburgh, but all over. In the sound of my voice, get out and vote in your local races because they have more to do with your quality of your life in day to day, and it is very important. Cookie Alexander Campbell said, "I just never miss an opportunity to put something up like this, like we did when Trump won. Not a joke. We took. Well, I thought it said Trump was a joke, so that's what I agree with that too. But
yep.
Her point is." Every poll, every person told you, everything I read, Hillary had that election in the bag. Oh, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Preach.
And we woke up like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yes.
And I want y'all to keep that in mind. I'm not going to get preachy on that level.
No, but AJ,
but look at what happened the first time. Look at what happened afterwards, and not want to relinquish, and think about what would happen for a part 2 of that. So we're gonna move on for that. But yes. Vote in your local elections is very important. So everybody in the town of Greenburgh that has a vote, yes. You have now heard from both candidates from Black Westchester. And hopefully it will help you make an informed decision. I can't tell you who to vote for, but we gave you both the candidates, and I wanted to get them both in the same day, but someone was out of the area and I couldn't get her. But anyway, so that's why it happened days later. I wanted to do it back to back. But I just, this is an important race. And you might not think so, but for the town of Greenburgh, this is a very important race. And everybody needs to get up, get out, and vote. regardless of who you vote for, regardless of what you represent. I don't care if you red, blue, or purple. You need to get out and vote. And I am never going to tell you nothing stupid like row 8 all the way in my life. I'm never going to say that to you. I want you to vote for the best candidate in every seat. I don't care what line they're on. And pre-Trump, even if that included a Republican, because I have voted for some pre-Trump Republicans before, because they were just the best candidate. You know what I'm saying? Anybody representing this line now and they rocking with that dude, I can't rock with you. But I just can't rock with you. Even the black dude running in Tuckahoe, I can't rock with you because you support that cat. Like I can't rock with you, dude. I can't rock with you, dude. And that's why I'm purposely endorsing you, the incumbent in that race. So I will not be making an endorsement in this race because I have a lot of respect for both sisters. It has already been polarized too much. I'm gonna let the people make whatever decision they're gonna make. I just gave y'all equal time, and it's in the people's hands now. So that's that.
Yes, dear.
The police department handle their own foils. What do you think about that? Did you know that? I don't know that to be. I'm gonna have to look into. I don't know if that's true. So yeah, but we finished now. We finished now. Thank you all for tuning in to this special edition of Black Westchester Presents the People Before Politics radio show. I usually do these on Tuesdays, so I used to call them Super Tuesday, but this is a Wednesday, so we can't call it that. But yeah, so we try to get in some of the key races. We try to get you the candidates on both sides so you can make informed decisions, and hopefully we helped you do that. Any last words?
No, thank you so much. Please go out and vote. If you want any more information about me and a list of all my endorsements, please go to Nero 4, number 4, townclerk.com. And again, thank you for your support. And if you are undecided about voting for me, take a look at my website, look at all of my, thank you, Mr. Wingate, and look at my credentials and make a decision, an informed decision. Again, I'm available. I know if you wanted to come out to a meet and greet, you can see us at Alex's Lounge tonight up until 9 o'clock if you wanted to come out and meet us. But again, I will be still canvassing. I'm still knocking on doors because, as I said from the very beginning, AJ, I don't have it until I have it.
Okay, that's what's up. And until next time, peace, everybody. Whether you're in Greenburgh or wherever, Mount Vernon NAACP is having a gala tomorrow at Green Tree Country Club from 6 o'clock on, I believe. If you haven't purchased your ticket, this is like the last day. You can still buy tickets at the door. That's very important. You can come and pay for your ticket at the door. Please support the new rebirth of the Mount Vernon NAACP as they try to breathe life in a chapter that has been inactive for a while. Support them. We need to support our organizations. I know it's last minute, but we have money for what we want to have money for. So if you can, purchase a ticket. If not, you can make a donation, as you can with Black Westchester too. And self-promote, a little plug right there. But yes, come out tomorrow if you can. That's where I will be. And also on Friday, check out the DMX exhibit, art exhibit in Yonkers. You can find it on blackwestchester.com right now. It will be featuring some stuff from Black Westchester when Black Westchester did the cover, the whole issue of DMX when he died. That cover, the Black Westchester cover, will be on the wall, and some pictures I took of live performances of X when he performed at City Fest in Mount Vernon. Some of that will be some of that will be on display. Black Westchester will be on display at the exhibit. So definitely come out and support Yonkers art. They're having a VIP reception tomorrow, which I can't make because I'm at the gala. But they're opening. Their official opening is Friday, night. Again, all the information is on blackwestchester.com. Come out and then Sunday, come through Mount Vernon Public Library for a great event, The Beats That Made Hip Hop. It's going to be, listen, they're going to have DJ Con, you're going to have DJ competitions, and it's going to be real. It's you don't want to miss it. So make sure you come through Sunday, and that's an all-day Sunday at Mount Vernon Public Library. Until next time, peace.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. People Before Politics give you that real talk for the community since 2014. Until next time.